I'm Charlie Goldblatt. I'm on the first year of photographic art at Uni of Wales, Newport, and I'm from London.
Okay. Hi, I'm Amanda Lentz. I'm doing an art foundation course and I'm from London.
Hi, my name's Brendan. I'm doing computer games design and I come from Gloucester.
Hi, I'm Natalie Hyans. I'm on my first year of film and video and I'm from Llanelli.
Hiya, my name's Sarah and I'm in my first year of Newport University.
Well, I think obviously the media has an effect on it. The main thing I can think of is the first time terrorism actually happened in London, and I was getting the bus into school, and I was waiting at the bus stop and obviously no buses came, but I didn't know what had happened. So I ended up walking to school, and when I got there, the news obviously scared me a bit.
My dad, because he used to work in London, so he was on the train behind the one that blew up when they attacked London.
I remember only finding out about it because my uncle's business was something to do in the building that's affected. It's affected by the ripples of that happening. It caused him to lose a fair amount of money from it. So.
And I remember I was walking through town and everyone was standing outside, I think it was Dixon's, and they had a big TV screen in the window. Was it Dixon's? Yeah, and they had the news on and everyone was like, around that, and I walked through town and I got home and my mother was like, oh my gosh, look at this.
I think Britain is no real threat to Iraq itself. I think Britain is just what Tony Blair's aim was, just to go along Bush in support of his actions to go into Iraq and invade Iraq. And I think that Tony, in result, was just trying to play it safe because he knew that, going back to World War II, America helped Britain, therefore it's, vice versa.
I don't think, from a sort of more political point of view, I don't think terrorists would seek to affect Wales as much as they would central London. I only see central London as a target, which shocked me when they bombed Glasgow.
I'd probably say so for the moment. I can't imagine there's anything particularly that the terrorists want to get their hands on in Wales, but Wales is a nice place to live. It's comfy.
As I want to go into the media industry, I definitely think that the media are a target for getting their message across. I think like how many journalists have gone to where these places are and being killed, kidnapped and stuff like that. But I think being in the media, it definitely makes me a target and makes me worry about where I'll be and how it will affect me.
At the moment, mostly interested in a sort of journalism style of photography that involves going to war zones and sort of deprived areas where I think terrorism is a big issue. And that is the main worry for me, to be honest. Stuff like terrorism and crime and political terrorism really does worry me about my future career.
I don't actually know much about Bush and his circumstances in Iraq and their circumstances, but what I do know is that George Bush is probably interested at heart were to protect his nation, and so if he felt that he was under threat, then I don't think there was anything wrong with him going into Iraq.
I don't really think it was our business to join in with what was already happening, personally. I don't know whether it made it any better. There's certainly no evidence of how we've gained anything from doing it. I mean, we're such a small place anyway, and we're only just causing attention to come to us by doing, we're provoking something,
The reason George Bush went in there is obviously because of the oil and stuff like that. Otherwise, he had no other reason to go in there. Why you go in there? There was no need for him to get involved and drag Britain in on it.
Because they went and invaded Iraq even though they didn't have a proper reason for doing it, and I think it's all a bit suspect.
I agree with what Tony Blair did, to be honest, because I think he did the right thing in invading Iraq, and I don't think that had a particular effect on the terrorism. I think it was much more to do with the sort of joint coalition in Afghanistan that had the major effect. But I agree with the war in Afghanistan, and I agree that what they're doing is right to get rid of the Taliban because it is a regime.
It's highly possible. I often believe the way that the government works is that people are pulling strings from behind the person that's actually in charge. I never believe that that person up there is making all of those decisions. I could highly believe that it was still maybe George Bush Sr. that was really behind a lot of the motives of what has happened in recent events.